everybody. Welcome to the Snobby Boy Podcast. I'm your host, Colby. That's my homeboy, Joe, over there. Holy shit, guys. Midweek, here we are. Honestly, I think for the both of us, we talked about this quite a bit before it happened, but I think we were both okay that the result didn't happen, but it did. So thank fucking God for that, right?
Did not look great early, did it?
No. It didn't. It did look spectacular. It did look spectacular, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Before we do, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure that you're following us on social medias at snobbypod. You'll see that we're no longer on TikTok, and we will soon no longer be on BlueSky because it's done.
Exactly.
And right. Joe, what are we spilling on tonight?
Tonight, we will be recapping this evening's Champions League match against Club Brugge, our 3-1 victory that moved us on to the knockouts. Following that, we will jump into the city and community news. Fair amount popped up in the last few days since we were on Sunday. So we will jump into that, talk through what Phil was talking about, a couple more transfer rumors, a couple more signings have officially been announced, younger guys that we'll talk through. And then at the end of the show, we'll spend our usual few minutes just broing out, talking to you all, answering questions that you might have popped in the chat throughout the episode, and just kind of talking some shit. See where the evening takes us.
We're also going to do a little polling for those who stay around. We want to get your feedback on our merch store. So if you're still here, it'd be great if you help us out. You want to start getting those votes in too. By the way, you can go ahead and click the link. I'll go ahead and show you guys. I don't know why it did that. We're going to share this tab, but if you guys see, they're down at the bottom. Hold on. Let me load it up real quick. Boom. That's not it.
There we go. Almost.
That's not it. Almost. I think it's because of the way I have it. I think it's because of the way I have it framed out right now. So let me fix that for you lot real quick. And I'll fix it later if I can. All right.
There we go.
So here we go. All right. So if you go ahead and you click the More tab underneath of the episode, you'll see there down at the bottom right here that we have a link, and you can start pulling on those shirts now. If you already know what they are, if you don't, we'll be pulling it up later to show you guys. So until then, let's get to it, shall we?
Starting 11, man.
Starting 11. Very, very veteran.
That's a nice way of putting it, I think.
Right. I was trying my best to.
I think back five, 4 defenders and keeper kind of picked itself for this one because there wasn't really a whole lot of others available as an option at this point.
Consistent thing that's happened for the last couple of months.
Kova, I think at this point, auto select at that 6th spot moving forward. Kev, expect to start in a Champions League match. Pep has always relied on Bernie and Phil and Holland in these situations. The only, I think, question mark for everybody was who was going to be that 11th person. And it turned out it was Gundo. And I'm going to give Pep grace because I think I figured out why he continually is picking Gundo. As we know, Pep is going through some personal stuff where loyalty in his inner circle has been in question since wifey has decided she's unhappy with his commitment to his job. So loyalty is a big thing for Pep. So since he's not getting it at home, I feel like he's overcompensating with some of his squad selections at times. And Gundo's been his guy for a long time. And instead of maybe starting Savino on the wing and letting Bernie or Phil play in the middle, or starting Jack and playing him in the middle, he's rolling with his guy, Gundo, because out of loyalty and respect for him, since he's
Tried
not,
and true.
yeah, he's go ahead and rolling with. I think that's what's happening here. I was thinking in the
Yeah.
car. I think Pep's just overcompensating because of what's going on in his personal life, but I think we all can agree Gundo is a starter in like the FA Cup against lower competition and fill in for the last 10, 15 minutes of any other match. We should not be looking at him as a starter at this point in time. He has shown enough on tape at this point where other fans from other teams have messaged me saying himself. Zach, who is a Chelsea fan that we know and love, pinged me and was like, "Man, like he just doesn't look like the same person. I don't know why he keeps picking him. It's not like we don't have other options there. That's one of the few places we actually have several choices that can play in that like attacking midfielder role. There's a lot of dudes that can
And
play
they're
there.
not being rotated in whatsoever.
No. So it's really interesting. That was otherwise the rest of the starting lineup I was perfectly okay with. The Gundo selection was definitely a head scratcher for me. So what were you thinking? Much of the same, I'm sure.
I mean, as I put it nicely, veteran. It was very veteran. Gundo is going to be the talking point of scrutiny for the rest of the season. If there's a scapegoat on this team, it needs to be Gundo. As much as I love the guy, as much as he has done in his first stint with us, you know, it's hard for me saying that. Like, it really hurts me inside. It pains me a little bit, but all in the same, like, pointing out other places on the pitch where it's a problem and not him is a problem because
Yeah.
he is the problem. And there was a good reason why he was subbed off at the half for Savino. So, as far as the rest of the squad goes, I mean, I kind of almost expected everybody that started. I did. I I see exactly what you're seeing now with what you said about the loyalty part, but all in the same. It's also Pep between loyalty and comfortability. It's a blurred line, if you
Mhm.
will.
Yep.
Um,
Cue Robin
he
Thicke.
he right. Um, he doesn't trust easy enough. Um, and it's weird because why would you invest into a player if you're not willing to trust them? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's kind of weird. Savino should have started, but he didn't. I'm kind of happy it kind of worked out the way that it did. Yeah, we looked awful right up front. I won't say awful. That's hypercritical, and that's something we're going to talk on later. Is hypercritics because there's a lot of that, and it's gotten to the point of a ridiculous place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I fully saw this one happening. I thought maybe Ortega might see between the posts. I'm kind of happy that Ederson was in. His
Yeah, hell
direction
of a
and
game.
his leadership was much needed for this one, especially in the back. I mean, yes, we had John Stones back there captaining that back line, if you will, but yeah. I also didn't foresee him swapping out his kit for the rest of the season either. Have you noticed that?
Eddie is a fashion guy. He
Really is.
definitely he helped design the one that he wore. Was it
Last
last
match.
weekend? Last match,
Yep.
right?
No,
He
last match. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so he helped design that. So he's a fashion guy. And I think we all can agree that all brown keeper kit was not the move. The
Listen.
the cream one is okay. The
Okay.
green one's
It's okay.
fine. But the brown one with some pink highlights is not a
No,
real good look, and
no,
has never been a good look.
no. It looks like it came straight out of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Like it looks like one of the resort workers' uniforms.
Yes, 100%.
But
100%.
yeah, one of the things that I really was in the forefront of my head in this match is that walking into it, Club Brugge, they only needed a draw.
Mm-hmm. That
That's
would have
all they
suited them
needed.
just fine.
Yeah, I almost wonder if their coach pre-match didn't turn on the episode where Richmond needed a tie just to stay,
Mm-hmm.
and he got that all up in their head. I thought, funny moments in my head when I'm sitting here watching a fucking match.
We only need a tie.
We only need a tie, boys. We only need a tie.
And imagine the way the results fell for Bruges, they still advanced anyway. The results held the way they did, and at the end of that was a weird moment at the end of the game. Both sets of fans, celebrating, cheering, and clapping. You could see the managers hugging before full time, pretty much congratulating each other on advancing through. So it worked out for both clubs in the end. So yeah,
What up, Luke?
exactly. Was not pretty, but it improved significantly at halftime once
Savino came in.
one sub was made, and tactically they made one adjustment, which was much needed after watching the whole first half.
Yeah. Do we want to save the second part to like after we talk about the match?
The overall thoughts?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
All right. Let's go through all the key moments, right? Kicking off first half, like I said, Eddie looking like he don't care for them Hawaiian uniforms no more. So glad that he was more comfortable looking, if you will.
My orange
Back to
trunks.
possession. Back to possession football. That's something that we haven't really seen with City in quite some time, for this season at least. We have really good lines, and there was good rebounding. Yes, I mean we could have been. There's always we could have been better, but for what was there, I felt everybody held their lines well. I felt everybody stayed in position. Um, the passes got crisper as the game went on. It kind of went back and forth there for the first half, but I felt like they were doing really well there. Bernie is questionable again. There were some things he did in the first half that I was not too impressed with. There were a couple of times, in spite of me saying all of that, where there were off ball runs and players were fucking running into each other. Like they didn't know where the fuck to go.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys. You looked like my kid's U18 when that happened. Like that shouldn't happen.
No,
And there should be
especially
communication.
yeah, and with the veteran squad that we've talked about, every one of those guys has played with each other a lot of minutes.
A
So
lot of minutes.
a lot of minutes together. So that's not something that should be happening to those dudes at that point in time. So
No, not even a little bit. Um, one of the other things too is I felt like we held press not just in the first half, but throughout the entire match. We held a press on them pretty damn well. Um, I would like to see us employ that type of play a little bit more, especially with our younger guys, because that speed on the counter would be fucking nuts. People wouldn't be able to fucking keep up with our shit at that point.
we had several good opportunities off of misplayed balls from them. They were attempting to play out of the back. Sometimes it worked. Other times they were conceding the ball to us in really dangerous places. So that was unfortunate in the first half that we couldn't capitalize on those opportunities that they were handing to us. But man, the much better in the press for sure. Really, the only time that they were hurting us on the counter, which also led to the goal, was not it. Previous matches, people were just passing through us and going. They hurt us on when we gave the ball away more in the middle of the pitch. They weren't like chipping 5-6 passes around and then breaking us down. They were winning a bad ball or something from us in the midfield and then just quickly countering. So it wasn't like we were getting played through this time. It was more
No.
when we gave away possession, they were quick to jump on it. And because Yoshko and Nunez were pushed so far up, there really wasn't a lot of cover.
No.
And
Look at you
in
been
the
on an island
first,
again.
and not even one at this point, because
One, yeah,
in the
there really
first
was.
half, Johnny was being asked to step into midfield from his center back position and play that holding midfielder role that he had done so well for us in the treble winning season.
Mhm.
And at times it looked, it's what I've been banging the drum for all season, was with Rodri being out, Johnny is the best option for us in that role. And we saw a little bit of that today with him looking far healthier than he's looked in a long time. And his confidence on the ball, his size profile, and his quick decisions. When he's in there, he's not dawdling on the ball. He's picking it up and he's making a pass. He's either playing it back or playing it forward quickly. He's not waiting. It's as soon as it gets to him, he's looking to make the next pass. The problem in the first half for me was he was in advanced positions, but so was Gundo, so was Kevin, so was Holland. We had too many bodies in that space, and then asking Johnny to play that midfielder role and cover when you've already thrown Yoshko and Nunez forward. Akanji's trying to cover a whole mess of space, and that's just not going to work. And that's what happened when we got countered on and they scored towards the end of the first half. We didn't have numbers back. And I don't want to criticize our guys for not like wanting to get back. I think they were trying to get back. But I think the announcers kind of mentioned it on the broadcast. Some guys just have it in them to sprint back and get back as quickly as they possibly can because they're a little bit more of a defender at heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot of those guys right now that either have it in them but also have like the legs to do so. You know what I mean? We just don't have that guy that's going to be like busting his ass to get back and breaking up play. Kova did a little bit more in the second half. Saw an improvement there. But that was also because they made the tactical switch of keeping Johnny back a little bit more. He wasn't pushing nearly as far forward most of the time. When we were in possession, he was farther back than he was in the first half because Gundo was out of there. We added more space with adding Savino out wide. That allowed Phil a little bit more operating room, and there was just more space for those guys to operate, which is why it looked so much better. The tactical adjustments and substitutions at halftime just made so much more sense. It looked much more like City watching that in the second half. And it was a much better performance. But at times it didn't look bad. It just didn't look really good because of all of the clutter. There were just too many bodies in that space with the way Pep had set everybody up and the players that he chose to play.
Yeah. Let's talk about that opening goal. I know I said I wasn't going to be hypercritical. I know I always seem to contradict myself in every episode somehow, some way. Nunez. Okay, Nunez. Everybody's been on Nunez's case, especially being played out of position at right back up until really today. I don't think he's played that bad. This is the first time that he's gotten literally shaken out of his boots and had to recover in some form or fashion. But what really led to that was there was zero coverage on the far side of the box. Nobody saw that guy waiting for that cross over the box. Nobody. So I don't want to put it fully on Nunez, but you can scapegoat him on this because of how bad he got shaken out. But Bernie also, he was he was in part to blame for how that all went down because when Nunez got shaken out of his boots, Bernie stopped playing. He didn't try to help recover. He just kind of held back and let Mateus go. That's bullshit, dude. Like, you see me get shaken out and you're right next to me, you're going to just sit back? Fuck you.
Yeah, the midfield was not supporting the back line very well. And you could see in the picture, their guy kind of peeled back and just waited for the ball to come to him. And we still have guys like kind of jogging to get to him. If you see the play developing, you should have that recognition. Like, that's the danger man right there. He's going to try to hit him. I need to get my ass back as quickly as I can to harass him into maybe making a mistake, maybe hitting it too hard, missing, not getting it on frame because he's feeling the pressure of somebody bearing down on him. We did not do that. He hit that ball super clean. Nothing Ederson could do with that one. And Nunez has got to know in that situation at that time, game situation, you cannot dive in and try to make a tackle there. All you need to do is keep him in front of you and shepherd him outside and let the rest of the team get back. You cannot dive in those situations and allow that much space in behind you, knowing that you don't have a lot of cover because you should be scanning, looking around. You know what? I don't have any behind me, so I can't take a risk here. This is not a risk-taking situation right here. I need to play it safe and just keep this dude in front of me until I have support. So I don't think it's being hypercritical of him. It's just the laying up facts. He knows better than that. He's played enough football to know that you cannot dive in that situation, and that's exactly what he did. And that guy made him look silly, and they punished us for it.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, and as I said earlier, communication has just not been our strong suit, and even more so from the midfield to the back line.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it's like that without the communication, it's like them saying, "Hey, do your fucking job." That's not being a teammate.
It's a Rodri-sized hole in that spot because he was
There really is
the link between the midfield, the attacking midfielders, and the defense. He just tied everything together and communicated everything. He recognizes his reading of the game is so strong that he knows when to hold back, drop back, and help out the defense. He knows when to pick his spots and get forward, and he reads the game so incredibly well that he knows where the danger spaces are. And he's a talker. If we saw anything from these documentaries, he's one of our more vocal guys out there on the pitch and in the locker room. So not having him and not having Diaz, those are our two, in my opinion, guys who talk the most to keep everybody organized. So not having those guys, and those fucking announcers, man, they showed our injured guys. They're like Diaz, Rodri, Ake, Doku. And then they weren't even really like, well, Oscar Bob's really not a first team. I'm like, dude, did you watch him at all? He would have been an impact player for us. So they made it seem like, well, everybody's got like 5 guys out. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me right now? How stupid are you? Those are all players who play in the same areas. And when you take away your best center back and your best holding midfielder and midfielder, the best player on the fucking planet, i.e. Ballon d'Or winner, you take him out of the squad, it is not the same as other teams missing some of their starters. Any team that loses that many first teamers like that in the same position, not all injuries are created the same. And our most impactful players are the ones missing the most time. So them just kind of like poo-pooing the fact that those guys are on the bench and not playing and not able to participate is just absolute lunacy to me. And hearing that dude say, I was like, dude, I wish I could just mute and switch off commentary, but still be able to hear like crowd noise and all that other stuff, man. It's so annoying.
When are they going to employ that fucking technology? Because I really, I'm with you, dude. I hate listening to our announcers over here. They are fucking bellends. They will say anything to poo-poo on City any way they possibly can.
I was watching it in the car with Jordan on the phone, and the guy was criticizing Ederson when he made a save that he left a little bit of a gap on the near post.
Yeah, I heard that shit and I fucking laughed. I was like, what?
Dude, he made the save. What are you talking about? She was like, he doesn't know anything about goalkeeping at all. I was like, you're absolutely right, because he had his post covered. He made the save. He didn't leave a gap. You're not supposed to like just be hugging your post in that situation. Otherwise, you leave a wide, like so much room on the other side. So it's interesting hearing them talk. And then my 13-year-old kid has better analysis than guys who have been doing it. And the guy said he's been doing this since 1978. He called like one of the first champions or European fun. I'm like, dude, you've been doing this for 40 years and you still don't know shit. Like, what are we doing here? Get it together, man. Do better.
Yeah, let's just do better.
Hypercritical of announcers is fine. Let's not do it to our players.
Yeah, we can rip on them all day. Rip on them all fucking day. Second half, Savino in for Gundo. Thank fucking God. What's up, Steve Black? Nice to see you in the chat.
What up, buddy?
Should have pulled all the South Stand over with you, man. So that actually ended up shifting Bernie inside, which was probably a better place for him at this point.
Yep.
I thought it was probably the best swap that we could have done, because at that point, like we said, Gundo is, yeah.
That also allowed Phil to go back onto the right side and tuck in a little bit more because Nunez was giving the width over there, and that put Phil in a more threatening area of the pitch instead of having him just being out wide on the left a little bit more. So one substitution completely changed the whole makeup of how we were playing, and the tactical switch was great. So just seeing Savino on the left, Phil being able to tuck in more, Johnny not pushing up so far and having a little bit more space for Kev and Phil and Holland to operate was certainly a much more helpful. So great use of the substitution there, and not waiting. Just recognizing this is a problem, we need to fix it. You're on at halftime.
Yeah. Change of pace was massively needed. I'm glad that it fucking happened. Right thereafter, Pep threw Jack, Nico, and Rico out on the line to get warmed up. And then Kovacic equalizes from it. Dude, interception. So he was looking to pass that, right?
Yep.
100%. He was 100% looking for a pass. He had nothing. The fact that he took that deep run from an interception and then just kind of, I mean, it skidded in, but it was still
hit the back of the
net. And then ball moves back down into the other end, and Akanji got lucky.
My heart stopped when that shot went off.
He 5-holed him, and then we're talking about inches
width of the
past
of the,
the right bar. Holy shit! I was like, dude, if they would have hit that goal, the morale of the team would have taken a massive tank. We would have just been, and I'm not going to say there wasn't any coming back from him. I mean, there probably could have been him, because at that point it would have been, well, it would have been 2-1.
Yep.
It would have been 2-1 at that point. I mean, that's, now you're down a deficit.
Totally different ball game.
And it's a totally fucking different ball game. Yeah.
It sucks for Akanji because you're doing what you're taught. Like he's trying to put his foot out to make the block, and the guy hits it, and it happens to go like right between your fucking legs. So it's like he was unlucky in that situation, but lucky that the ball went just wide of the post. You know what I mean? But as soon as he hit that, I was like, oh fuck, that's going in. My heart was like literally stopped. I was like, oh god, that's gonna go in. We're instantly gonna give the lead right back. That's what she
said.
Yes. Because Steven said, I don't know how that ball missed. Eddie didn't see that thing because he was rooted to his spot. So he didn't stand a chance either. So thank God that did not go in, because that dude connected with it, but it didn't. So thank goodness that he missed.
Yeah. No, we are not Eskimo brothers. And
Ever.
I'm fairly certain Joe would win that match. I mean, he is 6'7".
I
Unless
don't do
and
my hands.
I don't think with his current situation that he is a micro PP.
No,
Okay. She would have none of that.
none of it.
They did. They did. Um, you know, Huang, sometimes when you say stuff, it sounds like you're saying that we're not saying it, and I don't know if that's the case, but
I think he was late to the party and missed us saying it already.
okay.
He
I
wanted
just want to
he
make
wanted to
sure.
get hit. He joined up right around the same time Steve did in the comments, so I think he missed me
Hopefully it
glowing
was
about Johnny earlier.
okay. Don't be an inhuman.
Steve, I can't wait for us to have a pint together and just in
Right.
person let these puns fly, bro. Like it's the best. It's the
Fucking
best.
punches after punches. It's so good.
But yeah, Huang,
It's
like
so
you might have missed me saying it earlier. I've been harping on Johnny being our difference maker with Rodrigue being out, and his, like you said, just no availability because he's been out. But when he's fit and healthy, he can still be a difference maker for us 100%. And his ability to play that holding mid role would totally have changed our fortunes, I think, earlier in the season if he was actually healthy. But alas, it is what it is. But going forward, knock on wood, everybody do the same thing, that he can stay healthy uh, and continue to be a factor for us. Because having him and Akanji back there um, was definitely more solidified defensively than we've had it in a while. And I felt so much more confident with those two back there than I have in a while with the makeshift back line that we've been throwing out on a regular basis. So yay for Johnny.
yeah.
Just hope that it continues because he still can be helpful.
We just want him to stay healthy. That's all.
Please.
Just stay
He's a
healthy.
terrific football player, man. He's
He
still
really is.
he's got skills from that we don't have and we desperately need from somebody his size and his technical. We saw it on the. We'll get to it on the third goal.
I mean,
Yes. Sunday
if
drives.
I would I'm gonna go. Being that we already called Vardiol the Rolls Royce, I'm gonna call Stonesy either the Corvette or the Ferrari.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, because I mean that's the one you only pull out every so often. The Rolls
Yes.
Royce, you're probably a rich cunt if you're rolling around in one of
And
those.
you're being driven
And
to different places.
you're backseat on that one.
You can let it.
If you're driving your own Rolls Royce, you're
Doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong, and you're living beyond your means, probably.
That part too. Steve,
Oh, sorry.
I'm thinking we'd click same time. It's so funny we do that on a
Every
regular
time.
basis. Stop. I don't think he was hurt. I think Rico provides a little bit more legs and a little bit more defensive solidarity. So I think Pep was just providing a little more extra defensive cover and also recognizing that Kev put in a shift and was giving him a breather because he knows we're going to need him this weekend on Sunday. We have quite a few big Premier League matches coming up, so I think not Phil. I think Kev was coming off to give himself a little bit of a break and to let Rico provide a little more defensive cover.
That
So
was a
that's
real big sneeze, Phoebes.
she's got a damn ball in her mouth and sniffing as she's chewing the damn thing. My apologies.
It's okay.
She's in timeout because she forced my daughter to break her awesome pottery piece right before the show started. So
What a
Phoebe
shithead.
yes, she's on one tonight.
He is coming to an end. I mean, we've known this day was coming. You know, ever. I don't know. I mean, every dog has their day, and he's been our dog for a long time. You know what I mean? I'll be okay when he leaves. And you know what? I'm gonna take. He was the first shirt I ever got,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be going in a frame the minute he decides to either kick it to the MLS or wherever he decides to go. We obviously know that he's not going to be sticking around probably past the season, and that's fine because we've got a lot of new talent that's going to start flushing in, and you're going to forget. Well, not you won't forget. You won't forget KDB. Nobody's going to forget KDB. Fuck, he's going to get a statue. He's definitely going to get a statue. But I have prepared myself, and I think everybody else should. I prepared myself for him to be gone and for that press conference to happen already. So prepare yourselves, people. It's here. It'd be cool if he goes to the MLS. I mean, the heavy favorite right now is the San Diego franchise because he already has family ties there. So I mean, it would help a whole part of the MLS if there was actually like some good players out there on the West Coast. I mean, right now we don't really there's not really a lot as far as big name talent that has come over from Europe into the MLS. But I mean, they actually Atlanta United just signed Miguel Amaron.
Brought him back.
So yeah,
because
they brought him back.
Newcastle bought him from Atlanta after he had a really good season, so they are now bringing him back.
You just taught me something. Thank you.
Hey man, no problem. See, I get the San Diego talk because he's got family ties there. I feel like that's beneath him. I think there's other there are brand new franchise in MLS, and I get they want to make a splash, but if I'm Kevin and I'm fucking Kevin De Bruyne, and if I'm gonna go to the MLS, I don't think it's to San Diego. If I'm him, I would be looking at a team that's a little bit better, that's more established, that's got somebody there already that I know is good, that I can partner up with.
Keep him in the CFG, man.
San Diego is a great city. No denying that. But I feel like, and I think there's other options if he were to come stateside. That would be a better fit for his talent level. Because
keep him in the CFG and let him play NYCFC. Yeah. I don't see, but Kev's knowing somebody who's like Belgium and like the way like the Belgians and the Germans and all that they are, I really feel like he would be better suited in a more tropical climate than some place like New York. I just don't feel like that's his cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's plenty of other franchises within the MLS, and they continue to expand, which I'm not really that much of a fan of, just because the league isn't doing that great amongst the rest of the world. And to continue to add in new franchises, it's just for them to make more money. It's not for competition's sake. I mean, San Diego's it's a secondary market comparatively, especially being 2 hours south of LA.
And there's a reason why the Chargers left, and they went to LA for a reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
They weren't drawing anybody. There wasn't a real desire for the Chargers.
The Rams. So Kroenke owns the Rams, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he brought them back to LA and didn't keep them in St. Louis. San Diego, the Stanoses, they're fucking dumb. They've been dumb ever since Qualcomm was around.
Facts.
San Diego Chargers should still be in San Diego, and I every San Diegan will tell you that. The only reason why they're in LA right now is because of Kroenke money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We've all heard friends and family in San Diego. I haven't heard a peep from Kevin directly saying anything about it. So it's like, I don't think you will hear him say anything, but like I feel like I still feel kind of like it's a little more media driven. That's the most likely landing spot, and people are speculating that he would want to go there just for that reason alone. And of course, San Diego would be interested. I think every MLS
Of
franchise would be
course.
interested. But I just don't know how deep the rumor really is, or if it's just people speculating just because of that. Like,
Oh, I mean, everything's speculation until it fucking happens, isn't it?
absolutely true.
Shit, bruh. I'd pay an extra 200 on top of that just to see that booty. Just saying. Sorry. If that offends you, we're not your channel.
There you go.
Huang wants to know, who do we think is the heir to Kevin De Bruyne? I don't think there is anybody that you can pinpoint that could be a like for like replacement of KDB. I will continue on the path, though, that McAtee should be his replacement. I mean, why go out and spend more money when we've already got somebody there?
Yeah, I don't just give him a crack at it. Let Phil take the reins more. We saw that with him last year when Kevin was out and Phil was kind of the primary guy in that space. I think McAtee and Phil are more similar than McAtee is to Kevin. So I think if you have those two guys occupying that space, that's great. I think Echeverry um, probably is a excellent option. He has looked phenomenal in the U20 uh, championships. I've watched some highlights of him playing against Brazil and Colombia, and that dude has that it factor for sure.
He
So
does.
um, I think between those three guys, I think that instead of going out and spending big money, even though it's in the papers today was they're expecting major signings this summer. We'll see what happens, but let the guys that you already have here get first crack at it and see what happens. You know what I mean? And if
Yep.
it doesn't work out, then we go find somebody. But I don't think we'll ever have a direct replacement because there isn't. I can't even think of a player that's
Right
not on the
now.
roster that
Yeah.
fits the same kind of mold because Kevin's like one of one. So
You cannot emulate or replace a Kevin De Bruyne. He's
he's
generational
unique. Yes,
and
that
he's very unique. He's very unique. Let's get back into the match though.
Joshko being
Gavardiol
dangerous again.
being super, super dangerous. Breaks the line on a pass in for Savino. Ordonez actually taps it in for us. Thank you very much. His break on that was stupendous.
Dude, the hunger to an appetite to get forward from him, that's the Yoshko we've been wanting. Like he was super motivated all game. He was making some sliding challenges to break up attacks too, to break up counters. That dude was on his game today. And that's why that like drive the byline, drive the end line, and put balls across. Like that kind of shit happens. The defender was just trying to make a play. He stuck his foot out trying to block it because he knew there was guys arriving behind him. And good things happen when you're aggressive, when you're direct, and when you play balls quickly into the box like that. He hit that thing with some pace and deflected off of their guy's foot and into the back of the net to give us a 2-1 lead. Just that's what you got to do. Goal. Yes, exactly. Dude's
Did you
got
see him Did you see him in post presser where he was? I think it was Carragher who asked Yashko how to pronounce his name correctly for Micah, because Micah consistently fucks it up. To be fair, and it was Yashko's response was paramount because right after he said Yashko, he still said Carragher still said Josko, and he said no. Yosh, Osh. And I was like, yeah, motherfucker. God, I hate
Yes.
Carrier. We're going to talk about him later because I saw, I remember what the show is, but MCFC Lads was on there talking to him about like Kushnoff and all the shit that's happened recently. He is a fucking moron. How does he have a
100%.
job?
That's the kind of people that they want to put on TV that will say do dumb shit to elicit clicks and views and all that kind
He's
of
an
shit, I guess. It's
absolute
crazy.
bonehead. Absolute bonehead. Anyways, that's Holland Savino chance, right?
Mhm.
Holland stole the ball from the defender, and that should have been a clear three.
Yeah, 100%. He should have finished the first one, and then ricochets out. Savino puts it on frame, put it a little bit too far to the middle of the middle of the goal, which allowed the defender, who was in great position, credit to him for getting his butt back, which is what some of our guys need to take note of. Put himself in great position to block the ball off the goal line, supporting his keeper like you're supposed to. If Savino puts that in, more to the right of the goal, the right side of the goal, his right and the left of the defender, I don't think he has a chance of stopping it and bangs it in. Um, but credit to the defender for making an awesome fucking play, and in the keeper Mignolet for stopping Holland's first chance with a big strong hand. So sometimes you tip the cap to the other team, and they just made two really good plays in that situation. Um, just wish that Holland would have buried the first one, but
Yeah, no
shit
shit.
happens. But again, excellent pressing, hungry guys working hard. When we don't have the ball and wanted in a dangerous position to get clear chances. That happened more frequently in the second half, and you saw the guys put the foot on the gas pedal a little bit more and started doing
Mhm.
that a little bit more often. Kevin had a couple of those situations too where he was winning the ball in dangerous spots and just looking like the press that we've grown accustomed to the last couple seasons. So
Yep.
kudos for the play. Just unfortunately we didn't make it 3 at that time. But thankfully
Right thereafter.
we did make it 3. Johnny was able to step forward a little bit, and this is what I was talking about earlier with we don't have guys from that spot that can play that ball. That long direct ball that he played over the top, world class first touch off of the chest from Savino to eliminate the defender, and then all he had to do was slot it home. Not an easy finish to hit that volley with his
Mm-mm.
off foot near post like that. Like, that was an absolute special goal, starting from the pass from Johnny, and then Savino doing what we have all wanted to see from him, which is more goals. But godly, that touch off the chest, cushioning it and hitting it past the defender to eliminate that space so he could get the shot off.
Mhm.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal goal. Absolutely
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It had the makings of an old KDB pass in.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
how it felt, at least. Yeah, that was nice to see.
KDB to
Then right
Mahrez.
after that, yeah, right, dude. Did you all see that one touch from Mahrez
Dude,
in
he's
his most recent match? He's
dude's
still
first touch.
here. God damn it! I wish he
Crazy
was
good.
still here.
Crazy
God
good
damn
first
it!
touch.
I miss that guy. I
Probably
miss
one of the
him
best first touches on the planet. Like,
on
it's
planet.
insane.
Yeah,
Absolutely insane.
absolutely insane. Right after that, Rico for KDB. He slots in the midfield. Let's talk a little bit about Rico. Um, because and I said that on purpose, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I stole that right from Daps. So thanks for that verbiage, Jordan. Appreciate it. But yeah, he what's he really good for? Because he seemingly can't play. Has Moorhead ever had a bad first touch? No, not ever. Not ever.
I can't
No,
remember
but
him taking one the wrong direction. That's for sure.
never.
Dappy
Dappy Clapper. That's right. You can tell him I said so. No. Um. He. What's he good for? What does he really bring to this team? Because as a defender, he can get worked off anything. You can shove him down with the fucking blow of your mouth, literally. Haha. There's so many jokes to that. What I just said.
Steve is going to have a field day.
Yep, I'm waiting for it. Um, he can't do anything outstanding defensively. What does he bring to the midfield? As somebody who's supposed to be a midfielder and not a right back, um, what service does he bring to the midfield to either contribute to goals or or creating space? Like what is he really good for? And I understand that he's only 20 years old, right? Homeboy ain't getting any bigger.
No.
He ain't gonna get any stronger either. It's just like I fail to see what he brings to the team. I think he needs to be one of the ones, and I know he's homegrown, but he needs to be one of the ones we need to be looking at and saying, "Listen, man, if you ain't gonna, we need to." You know what I mean? Like it's just. I mean, genetics is all fine and good, but like, you know what I mean? Like, there are archetypes of being a professional athlete, and he's falling short on some of them. Height and physicality are two of the ones that he does not possess whatsoever, and those are kind of needed. It is, you know what I mean?
The way
Unless he's pulling sleds like American footballers do, and trying to build up his legs and like really going into the gym and starting to bulk himself up. His physicality is virtually non-existent, and as a defender, you kind of need to be physical. Yes, I
I,
know. I know he boxes. Everybody knows he boxes just because of the documentary. But like, what does that do for him on the pitch?
I think his cameo today is what he could be most effective in doing. I don't think he's a starting 11 guy for us. Um, so for me, I think he's somebody that comes in when we need to shore up shop and just play a little bit more defense in the midfield because he does
Mm-hmm.
have drive. He works hard, um, and he is pretty technically sound. But I don't think we need to be relying on him starting a whole lot of matches. I think he's a change of pace guy, come in, kind of spell guys. But if everybody's healthy, I don't see him getting a whole lot of minutes. You know what I mean? When we have a
Yeah,
full complement of players, he's probably still not one of the 2, 3, 4 first guys off the bench. He's, you know what I mean? Like whether we should have other options at the back line, we should have
mm-hmm.
better options in the midfield, and he's not an attacker in any sort of way there. So for me, I have no problem him sticking around the squad. I don't know with the way we currently are playing where he really fits on a regular basis. So
Exactly. And now we're in the position of, and we'll get into this in the city and community news a little bit further. But now we're out of right back. We have a midfielder slotting, two midfielders slotting in at right back. We have no left back as of right now. Yes, we did just bring in McFarland from NYCFC, but who knows when he's going to see the fucking pitch or when he's going to see first team time. As far as I know, he's taking EDS reps.
mhm.
So it's he could be sold, and I would be happy. I would be happy just getting 10 mil out of him and shoving him off and saying thank you for your service.
And maybe the Premier League isn't the right league for him. He could flourish in
Yeah.
a less physical league and do really well. Um, so that might be the move if we continue to bring in more players. I hope it's him because he can help us in both fullback positions because he's somebody we'll talk about here in a bit. He's better than that. He's better than that.
Yeah, but honestly, he could come over here and dominate a little bit, get some confidence up. Honestly, a lot of the MLS players aren't even really that big either. I mean, we're talking a lot of the players in the MLS are from Mexico and Central America, and I'm not trying to be any type of way, but Hispanic people aren't very tall. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. Yeah, I mean he's a good guy. I mean he's obviously born and bred Manchester, and that's great. You know what I mean? Like really good that we're able to bring in all of this different type of talent. But at the end of the day, like, what does he really? Again, what does he serve for our side right now? He's just a fill in the gap type of person right now. He may have not looked that way at the beginning of the season when we consistently started him because Kyle Walker wasn't really up to par at that point in time. But now that we're Kyle Walker less, we have to depend on these two. If we can get Cambiasso in, like you said, surely would be helpful.
Absolutely.
He's a regular player could be worth exactly.
We could get some good coinage, and it's all profit since he's a academy kid. So.
Exactly. Yeah, he's average at best. I mean, I know that again. That's hypercritical from a bunch of people sitting around talking on a screen, but like he's just average at best. Like he got really lucky to be even a part of this program. Thank you for your service. We'll be on with you. At least for us, at least. Possession play till the end. That was one thing that I think that obviously we haven't been so great at this season. We're finally starting to come back into that City-esque thing, like Steve Black said. I'm happy that we're finally getting to a place of possession that is at least a fourth, if not half, sometimes of our game is, playing keep away with the opposition. We can continue to do that and find better ways to create. We can smash out the rest of the season. I mean, that's not to say that we're going to come out on top, but we can certainly do our fucking best to try.
And not give away leads. We were able to keep the ball this time and kill out the clock. We were not able to do that in past matches in this competition against Feyenoord, against PSG, against United in the league. So it was refreshing to see us be able to knock the ball around, keep it for long periods of time, and see out a match like we've grown accustomed to this side doing. So that maybe is signs of life that they're starting to get back to their usual selves, starting to feel a little bit better about everything. So,
yep. Who are the players that stood out to you the most? In spite of all we said.
I thought Ederson was fantastic, even though we let a goal in. I think he saved quite a few chances by being ultra aggressive and being big and being brave. So I thought Ederson was back to world-class keeper that we've know and love. So Ederson was one that really stood out to me. I've talked already about John Stones. I thought he was very, very good. And it was really nice seeing that out of him again. So for me, I would say those two guys are the ones that caught my eye the most throughout the match in a good way.
Yeah. Kovacic through and through for this one for me. He was the one that stood out the most. He did what we needed to do when it needed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
He took he wasn't up for the bullshit today. He wanted to get on through. This means something to him. This club is obviously starting to mean more and more to him, and that showed today. Especially being, you're basically throwing your hand up for that 6 role.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he can play from so deep and be such a contributor, he was definitely man of the match in this one. For me,
seeing Savinho and Gavardiol, yeah. So I think everybody's pretty much on the same page when it comes to players who stood out in a good way.
Yep, and Yeah, Savinio was the game changer for the second half,
No doubt.
without a doubt. Uh, what's up, house captain?
What up?
Good,
Thanks for
good
joining
to
us
see you,
this
bro.
evening.
Yes, sir. Um, yeah. So our potential opponents after this are Bayern or Real Madrid. Draw is Friday. If we progress, we will play Atletico or Bayer Leverkusen.
It's interesting that it's both Madrid clubs and then two clubs that also have Bayern in them.
It's almost like they didn't script this out prior. Why would you put this matchup right where it is? Why? Nobody wants to see this matchup in this round for either club that we may face. To be honest,
No.
but more so Real. Nobody wants this. What they have done with this fucking what they've done with this tournament is mind boggling, and I'm glad that Pep has enough smarts to realize what the fuck he's doing. Yes, we fell far down the table, but ultimately, I think it's part of Pep's plan because he realizes that he can still climb from the bottom to the top once we're back in order, and we're
Mm-hmm.
getting there. So, yeah, I'm not terribly bothered either way of who we get, but I am bothered by the way the format has turned itself out. It's just you're going to knock out two of the highest grossing teams in the competition in the round of 16 during a knockout phase, or not a knockout, but what do you call it?
Playoffs or whatever this fucking thing
Play, yeah, the
is.
playoffs. Which that's still weird.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's four teams, I guess, in this little group of four. Bayern Leverkusen, one of the best teams in Germany, against Bayern Munich,
Yep.
also one of the best clubs in Germany. And then two of the best Spanish sides are in there too. Like what is happening? Like there's it's very frustrating that these are clubs that should be playing in the next round, not now. This is what happens sometimes in March Madness where teams get seeded a certain way and then they get matched up super early and one of them's out. But at this point, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. We did not perform well enough in the previous matches to not put ourselves in this spot. I remember hearing on the broadcast they were discussing like should people be fearing getting Manchester City at this stage since they're you know a seeded team is going to have to play City. And they were kinda like, "Well, I don't think anybody really should at this point because of the form that they've been in, and nobody should be really scared of them at this point." To me, we're starting to get a little bit more healthy,
Keep talking that
and
bullshit. That's all I'm saying.
and I guarantee you Madrid and Bayern Munich are not thrilled that Manchester City one of them are gonna have to play us this early.
Right.
No matter what form we're in, no matter no matter what is going on at the club, they do not want to face Manchester City at this time. That there's nobody that's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm happy we got Manchester City this early." This is not the FA Cup
Nobody.
where the lower tier teams are excited to come play Man City because it's gonna be a big payout, and they're gonna get an opportunity to play against cool teams and be out of the competition. This is a totally different competition. People are not gonna be happy that they're gonna have to match up with us. Oh my lord. Give them another one.
Give him another one. Give him two
So we'll find out Friday which of those two teams will play. Given that they are the seeded teams, we will get the home game first in this two-leg tie, and we will then have to travel to either Bayern or Real Madrid to play game two at their place. The way this is lines up is the higher seeded team gets the advantage because you always would prefer to have the second match at home because you have your home crowd and you'll know what you need to do at home to get the W and to advance. So good for them that they get that, but we'll find out Friday what it's going to look like.
We shall.
Yeah, and it's either
All right.
we play Real Madrid, who we've matched up with numerous times this competition, later rounds, or we get our former club captain. We get company.
Right.
And so
I kind of fear that in a way, just because he knows us, but also he doesn't know us that well anymore. I mean, he was there in the past, and I mean, he knows what Pep does. So there's that little fear factor in it, but it aims what it be. It aims.
facts.
We're going to go to break real quick. When we come back, we're going to hit city and community news. Got a bunch of it, and then we're going to bro out, and we're going to be asking for your feedback. If you guys want to get polling, and you already know what our merchandise store looks like and what's there, you can click the link on the More tab below if you're on YouTube, and it should be there at the bottom. I'd pull it up for you again. Actually, I think I can. No, I can't. Yes, I can.
It's one of the two.
You can go there and check out what we got. We'll be bringing that up here in a bit. I gotta fix the whole fucking shit again. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. I just ran to the kitchen real quick because I felt like getting a little saucy tonight.
Attaboy.
And yeah, I've actually been hurt the last week, and that wasn't the smartest thing for me to do is run, because I think I just fucked my foot up again. Best time for this vino.
There you go. Exactly. I was wondering what you were pouring in there.
Yeah, so bought some wine like a couple of weeks ago because I was cooking with it. And I rarely cook with wine, and it's just been sitting in the back. And to be fair, me and Penn Griffey Jr. are on a on a hiatus. So if you don't know what Penn Griffey Jr. is, go Google it. I'll just say that. Yeah, so I felt maybe getting a little saucy during the second half was in order. So posh, that's right. Posh. She was my favorite, bro. Still is.
Little posh spice.
Little posh spice. You know who got really hot later on was Mel B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Facts.
At first, she was a little scary. And then she got hotter and hotter and hotter. Anyways, I'm not going to waffle on about the Spice Girls. It's not what we're here for. Top of, well, I think it was actually the day after the Chelsea match. LB on X, he put up a side-by-side of an Aguero goal and then Haaland's goal against Chelsea, and it was like near identical. Mm-hmm. It begs the question: was Haaland taking the piss by doing
that? They put up all 5 of Ederson's Premier League assists, like back to back. And
yeah,
quite a few of them look eerily similar. And seeing the like curve that he puts on the ball on those long passes for guys to run into, man, they're pretty. Seeing a keeper assist is awesome.
Cheers, first one.
So, I wish we could. They didn't play man to man this past game, so we didn't have that same opportunities. But didn't get an opportunity to see it last night or this evening.
What are you saying?
They didn't. The Bruges did not play man-to-man defense on him, so there was not
Oh
opportunities
no,
for that
there
for
wasn't.
that long ball. I think he was looking for it a few times, but we were not able to see said beautiful long balls this game because of the way they were playing him.
Yeah. I just want to sidebar. Listen, for those of you over there who drink this, why is my question.
That beer.
But thank you, Will, for sending over the cup. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's getting used for its purpose, just not the same substance.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You have to deal with it if you don't like it. I don't really care. So the Cambiasso rumors are still going, swirling about. Reports on the two clubs are not far apart on numbers. Sides continue to work together to come to an agreement, and he was not in their squad for Champions League due to an ankle problem. So that can
ankle problems.
Ankle problem. Well, I mean, so this is where I was going with this. This begs the question: is the deal done and they're just saying that, and he's ready to move to City, or is it really true? Remains to be seen. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping by Friday at the latest Monday. Well, when's the deadline stops or is
second or
is
third
that,
day in February, I think. Somebody in the
so? I mean, we
comments
only
let us know.
got
4 or 5 days max.
cool, right? So there's
So
that.
if a deal's going to get done, it needs to get done, and he's somebody that could certainly help us. He's plays both fullback positions, and from what I've been reading and researching on him, he's one of those dudes that can play football with both feet equally good. So he can play on the right or the left side. So absolutely a versatile player, somebody we could really use, especially given the fact that we're playing a midfielder as our right back on big matches. Somebody who's not super comfortable in that position yet. Um, there, depending on the report that you read hour by hour, it changes to they're only a few $1 million apart on the number that they're trying to agree upon, and sometimes the ones that are saying that less confident and they might just postpone until the summertime kind of thing. So it really depends on which report you're reading and who's throwing it out there. But it seems like that's still a deal that could be done in the next couple of days, or potentially one. Um, he could be somebody for the summertime potentially. See, I don't see him as the CDM. I think he's playing fullback for us personally.
Yeah. And here's something I want to get on, because City fandom, you are not quitting over the CDM thing. We told you last episode. We told you the episode before. Vitor Rise is the one being groomed for the position. We have a CDM, guys. He's just not available yet, and he's not up to Pep speed. We'll just say that. He's somebody that's going to be there. We're going to have to hold on to Kovacic for the rest of the season in the 6th role, and everybody's got to get used to it.
Dino and Rodri have been hanging around training sessions this past week, and I think we know why at this point as to why that is. Fernandinho can help Vitor get comfortable in that position. He also speaks fluent Russian, so he can also help out our other new center back signing. And then Rodri is the best 6 in the entire world. He's the best player in the world right now. So having them two dudes
He's
around
not going
training
to be giving it.
is not a coincidence at this point in time.
No.
So, and house
And
captain, I think if we're gonna push somebody out wide, it would either be potentially Stonesy over Akanji, and because Akanji's been one of our only healthy guys playing in that middle. You play him, you play Ruben, and then you can stick Johnny there. And in a pinch, if Kova is not available, then you put Johnny there if he's healthy in the middle instead. So I think he would be more of an option. And then if we do bring Cambiasso in, he's comfortable in that fullback role already. So throw him out there, put him on that right back spot, let Nunez rotate back into his natural positions and let him help out with his size, physicality, speed in the midfield, which we're lacking, younger legs, all those
He can
things.
also play the 6 role.
So, yep. So we'll see what happens. But I like him in that outside back position.
So I want everybody to get out of their mouths buying a proper CDM in the summer. Like, we have one. We don't need another one, because what is that going to cause in the locker room? You're going to be causing problems to somebody who wants more minutes. With Vitter Hayes, he at least knows that he's a center half, and that's where he can get pushed back to, that he won't be the primary choice for the 6.
Yeah, I don't think we need to spend big money on that position with Rodri coming back.
No,
So,
no. I really feel like everybody needs to get CDM out of their fucking mouths. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's just like,
you got
we can
Johnny,
keep begging.
you got Kova, you got other guys. Once Vitor gets up to speed, he can be somebody that can learn from Rodri potentially. And we have options there. We don't have to go spend. There's other positions I think we do in the midfield that we need some big signings and splash some cash. But when Rodri's back, he's starting most games. We're not spending 80, 90
And the
million
ones
dollars
that
on
he's
a guy
not,
he's gonna sit on the bench for most games. So
right. And when he's not, I mean, again, the rotation for the center half position is going to be abundant come next season. We'll have, I mean, that's if we still have Ake, because there's been some, I've seen some wash around that he may be a casualty in all of this. We don't know if we're going to get, or if we're going to retain John Stones. We don't. I mean, that's all based on the fact that we don't really know what his contract situation is at this very second. Um, Diaz, I mean, the guy. Kushinov, he's going to be another the guy. Everybody slagging him is really getting on my fucking nerves too. Like, he had a hiccup for first 5 minutes of his first Premier League match.
2 bad moments out of 52 minutes.
Look at little sneaky Pete down here.
Sneaky Pete.
Sneaky Pete. No, and those would be 2 casualties that I'd be okay getting. It's not saying that I don't like Ake and that I don't like Stones. I love both of them. I mean, we have all watched Ake go from somebody who didn't have quite the recovery to becoming one of the best recovering defenders that we have. So I'm not really ready for him to leave, but I mean, he could be a casualty, because suffice it to say, Akanji brings a little bit more to the table than Ake does as far as where he's able to line up. Um, yeah, he could be another Gundogan too. That's really all I got on that. I just the whole CDM thing is just, it's driving me nuts, because that's all I've seen. We need a new CDM. Like, no, we fucking don't. We have one. He's just hurt. We also have one being groomed. We also have other players that can fill in that role. Let's focus on what we really need to focus on, and is the fact that we don't have an out and out left back. Yes, we did sign Christian McFarland. He signed for $2 million from NYCFC. But he's more of a watch out for the future thing.
Yeah, he's, as an 18-year-old coming from MLS, while super talented, great size profile, great speed, clocked in faster than Mbappe has. So he's definitely a super athletic dude, but clearly has not gotten the coaching level that he is going to be getting now that he's coming to our side and joining up. Tactically, going to need some coaching up, refinement on his technical ability. Obviously, that's important. But definitely somebody to keep an eye on moving forward. But he won't be ready for probably a year or two, and to be contributing, regular minutes for the squad. So,
hey, Luke, I just want to know what's going on with you too. I was a little worried about you. Last I saw, you were stuck in Leeds. Are you home? Are you good? Let us know.
So Christian, another defender. We've signed 4 now. 4 young, all
Right.
of them on the other side.
Yep.
Jumaba is off to Lawns to replace Kusanov. He'll be
Yep.
one to keep an eye on. He's got great size too. There's a common theme here with most of the guys we're signing at the defensive position. They got great size, good speed, all young, but they aren't probably ready for starting level minutes on big games quite yet. So we can't just get rid of all of our guys. We can't just send off Akanji, Ake, Stones all in one go and expect all these young guys to come in right away and play heavy minutes. We still need those veteran presence there, but we will now have guys we
Right.
can rotate in and give them breathers when they need it, like midweek matches. When they've been playing 3-4 straight, we can bring in guys that can help. So the rotation will be much better, but to expect the new guys to come in and kind of supplant who we have already, I just don't see that happening quite yet. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens in the summertime. I'm sure there'll be a refresh happening, but I don't think we're going to see a complete changing of the guard in the back line where it's
No.
Ruben's the only one left. I think they'll probably lose one of the three, maybe. But we'll see.
Suffice it to say, for the way that we play football and the way that Pep plays football, you need a healthy mix of people who have been there and newcomers to let the veterans be the teacher, so to speak. I mean, obviously these boys know how to play their fucking position. It's not to say they don't, but there's a certain way things are done within the side, and making sure that we retain the likes of. I mean, we have a Kanji, we'll have Diaz. We don't really know everything on Stones. We really the Ake situation, whatever. But to have those guys around teaching these guys, standing next to them and directing them, I want to. That needs to be how these guys blend into our side.
Mhm.
It can't be trial by fire because we've already seen the trial by fire, especially with Kushinov. Like that's I feel bad for him, right? I think everybody does. He got thrown into a side, not knowing any English, not even a full week of training. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I don't know. It's going to be an interesting future. I'm really excited for all of these winter signings we have. What happens in the summer? I don't. We'll be active, but I don't think we're going to be quite as active like we've been in this window, where it's been like bam, 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 and we're
Right.
we're knocking shit out of the park. I think it's gonna. I think there's going to be a lot more play that happens. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be wanting top dollar for players, especially if they're coming to us. Yeah.
So
Well,
not on transfer news, but still around City, obviously. Phil did himself a interview recently and has all been published out. And he had a couple of real interesting quotes that came in and was talking about one his he addressed elephant in the room of are you looking elsewhere? Are you trying to leave? Blah 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 blah. And he categorically shut that shit down. It was like I'm extremely happy in Manchester. He's not looking to go anywhere else. Can't say what happens in the future. When people say that line, it's for PC purposes, and then the journalists take it and run with it. They're like, "Oh, he's leaving the door open for leaving Manchester." That's not what he said. He said he's happy here. He's not looking to go anywhere else. But like a sane person, he said you can't predict the future. You never know what's going to happen, which is
right.
absolutely true. That does not mean that he's trying to leave, though. So Phil
Well,
squash rumors that he could be going somewhere else. He's not leaving. We said this
no.
in the past couple of pods. He's a Manchester boy. He is not leaving. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. He will be here until he doesn't want to be here anymore. And that's entirely up to him, which more than likely is yes, that Steve. He'll be there until he's done.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that he put at the beginning of the season and why it didn't look great and why he wasn't performing up to his high standards. And I think it was probably the same reason that a lot of the guys were kind of struggling throughout the fall was they were just he said he was mentally and physically just drained and not in a good place mentally. So again, they're human beings. And if you're
They
not
are.
feeling right mentally, that's going to impact your play. If you're not feeling great, you're not going to perform at your best. And he admitted, like, I just wasn't in a good place. I wasn't feeling good physically. I wasn't playing great emotionally. I wasn't feeling good emotionally. My mental state wasn't great. I really didn't. He said he didn't really enjoy um, the summer Euros because of the position that he was being played by Gareth Southgate. He had spent all season being the best center attacking midfielder in England and winning all kinds of awards, and then he gets stuck on the left wing instead of playing in the position that he just dominated at. So that obviously was a problem for him. He didn't like that. So he was very open and honest about his feelings about the Euros and about why he wasn't performing up to his normal standards because he wasn't feeling great. His body was drained from all the football that he had to play, and mentally he just was just not in a good place. And you have to respect a guy who was open about how he was not feeling great, and he made no excuses for his play. He was like, you know what, this is what was going on. I wasn't feeling good. My head space wasn't great, but he's clearly feeling better now. You can just see it in his body language with the way he's playing now. He's feeling a lot better physically, emotionally, mentally, all those things. So kudos to you, Phil, for just being honest with everybody and saying, you know what, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling good. I just was not in a good place, and that's why I was playing poorly.
Yep. You have to admire transparency like that. And that's something that just really
Yeah.
all of us could be better at. You know what I mean? Because suffice it to say, not everybody knows what's really going on in your life. Now, that doesn't mean go out and start telling people like fucking vegans walk into a room and tell everybody that they're fucking vegan as if anybody gave a shit. It's, you know, if there's a moment when, you know, one of your boys hits you up or realizes you've not been quite yourself, like, it's okay to be vulnerable in that moment and be transparent and say, listen, this is what is happening. So you got to appreciate that coming from a player, especially portraying that to the media. Now, granted, this media was in-house media. Now, if this media would have been anybody fucking else, if it was legacy media, mainstream media, whatever, they'd fucking have a field day with that. And I'm glad that it's staying in-house because of that particular issue.
Absolutely. Steven, I'm glad you said that. I hate the media. Another reason why we hate the media around here is just baseless rumors that get thrown around about our players, i.e.,
Right.
Jeremy came
Yes.
out that he was being offered from the Spanish media, shocker,
Shocker.
being offered to Barcelona on a loan deal, and it got to the point where Doku's camp had to come out and make a statement categorically denying all of that, that it was not true, that he's not looking or asking for a loan move. There's nothing true to any of that nonsense. So, case in point, media are idiots and they will just throw shit out there just for get those clicks and to get their
Yep.
views on their page and all those kind of things.
Bro, the
Absolutely.
Spanish journos live on fake news.
Hmm.
Here's what Spanish journos do. They tell everybody what they want to see by claiming that it's true, and it's not. Like I'm. When is it going to? When are we as a people going to come to a place and say, listen, you're talking bullshit, and we know you're full of shit, so we're not going to give you the time of day. If there's one thing that I can tell anybody and everybody, if you see stuff online and and people are commenting on stuff and it makes no fucking sense, the best thing you can do is not give it air. Let's stop giving stupidity air
Don't
because that's
share
what
it.
keeps
Don't
it
like it.
alive. If you want to fan that fucking flame, you're a part of the problem.
I saw that come across my feed and I saw it and kept on scrolling, but it just makes absolutely no sense. So for if anybody ever actually believed that shit, they are Barcelona's cooking with Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, and
Mhm.
uh, Rafinha. Rafinha Lamine Yamal played Doku's position. He's not going over there on a loan to sit on the
Right?
bench. What kind of
No.
sense does that make?
I mean,
And
it's the same
Barcelona
thing
has
we
no
did with
money.
fucking Gundogan, except we sold them.
It just makes absolutely no sense. And if you noticed, they also Tebez, the commissioner or whatever, the president of La Liga, came out and was saying they're still trying to deny Danny Olmo's registration to Barcelona, even after they apparently approved it, so they're trying to like void that shit still. So Barcelona is not in a good space as far as finances go. So they're not taking people on loans and making
Alrighty.
transactions. So just fuck off with any of the rumors that have to do with our players going to Barcelona. That's just not happening.
So now with Kyle Walker gone and Nunes and Rico rotating at the position, journalists and fans alike are banging on the we have a gap. And we do. We do have a gap in one place. But before we get there, this incessant need for us to use negative language in this sport is exhausting. I'm telling this to all of you, one and the same. It's exhausting. Let's find the good before we find the bad, shall we? Because especially in a win, when I see somebody fucking step up to the plate or on social media and the first sentence is negatively driven, what? Did you make yourself feel good by doing that? Does that feel good when you do that, or do you feel like a fucking dickhead when you're proved wrong like 30 minutes later? It's ridiculous, guys. Yeah. We need just trust the process to the qualified person. If you've got a better way of doing it, go get your certs. Go be a coach somewhere.
And you can do it your way.
Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Like, just don't be negative. There's no need for negativity. The world's got enough of it. You starting off a sentence with it doesn't make the world a better place. I promise you.
That goes for parents of youth sports as well.
Yeah,
because they like to comment on everything the coaching staff does on all the different teams that their kids are on, and feel like they could do things better, but are sitting in the parking lot for every practice, and when they're watching the matches, sometimes too busy talking to the other parents on the sidelines or scrolling their phone instead of actually watching. And that's the only time they watch football or soccer is their kids' game day. And then they think they know more than a person who spends their entire free time pretty much
existence, right?
watching, learning, coaching, has been coaching for many, many years, and think they know how to do things better than said coach. And I've seen it on all the teams that my
It's
daughters
not just
have
bars.
played on. It's just a culture thing here in America that they all think they know better and could do things better, and even to
I want to see
little
parents over
details.
there.
Yes, I'm very curious about that. So
I want to go to some youth matches when I come over and see what their parents are like over there compared to the way they are over here, because you made a very valid point there. There are so many parents who never played the game before, never followed it. Their kids got into it, and somehow they're like fucking overlord of all the rules and know everything. It's
yes,
probably the most laughable thing I've ever seen. But then there's then there's the polar opposite side of it, where they really don't know anything and they say shit at the wrong time. I'm not going to say I've not been guilty of it. I was guilty of it twice this season with my kid. Um, I totally called the ref out right on a touchline pass in, and it went forward, and their player was offside. I didn't know that rule. I learned something that day, but that's not to say that there aren't other parents on the sidelines whom aren't saying the dumbest shit ever, and you just look at them, you stop paying attention to the game, you're like, did that really just come out of your
did
fucking
you
mouth?
really just say that?
What in the actual fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. That's all of our city and community news, guys. Man, we actually went on pretty long in the first half. We usually are pretty good about keeping it within relegation or within regular time of a half in the game. So here we are, hour 36. That's a full match plus 6. We're gonna go ahead and start broing out. For this one, our little bro out session, we want you guys involved in two ways. First, ask us some questions. We've been doing that for the last couple of weeks. Really have enjoyed answering any questions, whether they be about the team, personal, whatever. Don't get too personal, because then I might tell you to fuck off. But ask us some questions. But while we do that, I want to bring up our page. And I know we have put adverts on our episodes about our store. We've put a QR code, which is no longer there on our page or on the screen. I took it away for just because it was too busy on the screen. But we really want your input and your feedback on what we have in our store. We don't know how many of you have actually went in there, aside from the ones who have actually ordered something. So I'm going to pull this up while we're shooting the shit. I think I got to fix the screen a little bit. Nope, I think I can do it from there. I can do that. So we have a poll, if you don't already know. At the bottom of the screen, if you click the More tab where the info is, you should be able to scroll all the way down there to the bottom of the info, and there should be a link to vote. For those of you who have never seen this store, this is kind of what it looks like. So first, we've got the Everything Zen shirt, right? We just put that one out, and we did that in accordance to Erling Haaland signing his 9.5 years contract with City to basically end his career. We got that one up. So if you like it, tell us you like it by voting for it on the poll. Same thing with our Phil Photo and Pew Pew. I know a lot of people out there were apprehensive about buying this because of the Pew Pew part. I guess some people find that to be offensive.
Makes no sense to me, but hey.
Yes, you do. You should get the Pew Pew shirt because
I have one, and it's wonderful.
I have one as well, and it's extremely comfortable. And it's actually the one there on the left. That's the exact one I got.
Same.
That particular one. Yes, it's more of like I guess a stonewashed navy gray, but honestly, comfortable as shit.
Super soft.
Super
Fits you nice. Fits the body nicely too.
Exactly. The next one we brought out was the 0161 Till I Die. Now, when they brought out the shirts at the beginning of the year, that was my whole idea behind it. And over here in the United States, you'll see a lot of people representing their area codes, right? So the area code over there is 0161. And usually when you hear that over here, it's usually followed by Till I Die.
Mm-hmm.
But you also City Till I Die, right? So I mean, you're saying the same thing. These are all just messages out to the world. That's all we're trying to do here. Make a statement. Next one, plastic fans. This is honestly for all of our newer fans, but if you would like to consider yourself plastic, even if you've been with the club for a long time, I feel like this is a great representation. Letting people know that you use your card every time.
Mm-hmm.
If you look really closely, and I even put in the little digits, so significant numbers to us here at City. Are polls moving yet? Anybody clicking anything? No.
What's up, Andy?
What's up? Andy's in here. Hey, Andy.
He just jumped in. Yep.
What's up, man? Good to see you in again. Yeah, people get offended by literally everything. So I don't know whom it was. I think it was somebody that Joe knows. They had wrote in the comments when we had originally posted on Instagram. They're like, "Yeah, I can't buy that where I live." I'm assuming he was in the States, and maybe possibly near a city area, because only people in the cities in the United States are anti-gun. Yep, it is. It's the best selling point. Comfortable as shit, because I mean, dude, it's Shits can be comfortable, can they not?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're done. Hold on, I got to get to the bottom. People get offended by people getting a. Dude, you're not wrong. You're not fucking wrong. Fucking Karens. Oh, did you hear? Did you hear what the new euphemism is? It's not Karen anymore. Do you want to hear what it is?
What is it?
Margaret's.
Margaret's.
Yep.
I like Karen better.
I like Karen better too, but they use the whole Margaret thing from somebody who recently spoke. I want to say it had something to do with our government, but I digress. Let's see. Obviously, the bullshit. That's top tier. And just so everybody knows, we're the ones who invented that shit. All these other fucking people out there that are using this are stealing our fucking design. So if you see it, say something. That's all I'm fucking saying. I already had to talk to the 1894 group. Some guy fucking sent it to them and they started posting, and I was like, no. I started that. It's on a shirt. I made it before everybody else. I published it before everybody else. I'm not trying to sound like a dickhead, but like, just because you didn't see it in your purview doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. That's all I'm saying.
100% true.
Of course, we put up the dumb American because, good Lord, did we hear that one a lot. Not so much recently. I've actually been pretty happy with the lack of prejudice towards Americans. I think that's so ridiculous. Like, what does a British person have to be so prejudiced towards an American about? Like, what did we do to you other than we kicked your ass like 250 years ago? To most of
A
us,
long time ago.
250 years later, we ain't really thinking about that shit. Y'all are. Not us. We could care. We just want to be friends. We just want to get along.
Mm-hmm.
We know we're like fucking stepbrothers, right? Did we just become best friends?
Yep. So much more room for activities.
So much more for activities. I saw Steve Smith said he really enjoys the Oasis inspired design for Snobby Boys. Obviously, me and Joe both have these. I got mine in gray. Joe's got his in black. The one thing that I will say, I wish I would have got the black one because I'm not going to lie, I'm very accident prone when it comes to wearing light colors. I don't know if any of you remember, I was talking about a kid that I gave my Tommy Hilfiger stuff as a hand-me-down when I was a kid, and he fucking ruined it. I got pissed. I get pissed at myself every time I stain my shirt. Like, I actually have my sweatshirt hanging over the shower right now because I stained it again.
Dude. Non-stop.
Non-fucking stop. Take Me Home. This is one of our very, very originals. It's very simple. It's a map of Manchester, and that little dot right there, that's where the Etihad is. And those coordinates are also where the Etihad is. As you can see, we can go up to 5XL. I don't know if you guys can see that on your end.
And so it also ships worldwide.
And we ship worldwide. Wide. As in Thatcher, you would think it's a Margaret Thatcher. No, I mean she's dead, ain't she? She gone.
Yes.
She gone. Oh, I see how that's happening right now. Now that I'm on the screen, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix it. I'm gonna fix it. Give me a second to fix it, peoples. It's real big. Make it a little smaller. Can you see me making all those moves, by the way?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, everybody sees me doing that. That's cool.
Yes.
Right, so that means everybody can see me moving my window in the middle of us talking.
The Iron Lady.
Guys,
exactly.
Guys, get in the polls, man. We want to see this thing moving. It is moving. We got a lot of bullshit in there. A lot of bullshit. Where's the tab at? There it is. So there's that one, and then our last one. I actually deleted one of our originals because it just wasn't selling, and I don't think people will fucking get it. The Anti-Journo Club. So got rid of that. That's an exclusive. You guys ever want it back? Let us know. But obviously, this one too. I mean, what better statement is that? If you hate Man United, clap your hands on the back of the shirt. One of our old co-hosts, he has this shirt. I bought it for him. He wears it proudly still, I think. He might have burned it. I don't know. And then last but not least, we got the No Room for Wankers Ever shirt. We have had one person since we put the store up buy it. Thank you very much, Alex from the Hollywood Kit Packs, for picking this up. Wears it here and there. I actually just watched their episode from last night, and they hung the Pew Pew shirt in the background, so that's pretty fucking sweet.
I saw that too.
That's pretty fucking sweet. And of course, we got some cups. We got some mugs. I know you guys like to drink your tea. What better way than to start your morning off with us? I mean, fuck. And then, of course, we got the bananas. We got the bananas. What am I missing in here? I got to see these comments.
No, I was laughing at you.
Oh.
The way you said that was very funny to me.
Just all get along, exactly.
The way you emphasized fuck was very funny to me.
I mean, let's just be a powerhouse. That's where I'm at with it. Colonial cousins, that's right.
I like that.
Yep.
I like a good alliteration.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
I just understood your comments, House Captain.
Top Trumps? Dude,
no,
Trump's. Sorry, I'm just going down through the list right now.
Yep.
Top Trump. Dude, Trump's fucking killing it. Yep. No room for wankers.
Then he said, come again.
Yep.
Which was funny to me.
Ha, 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 ha. Wank, wank, wank. Right?
Or did he? It's one or the other.
It's one or the other. All right. So yeah, we want to get y'all's opinions on it, on what we have in the store. You know, there's a couple of things that I have in the works. Not with people quite yet, but some ideas I have. So if you want to start maybe even spreading the word around, for those who design shirts out there like Ginger Wigs and Gilmore Tees and various others, I think it would be really cool to do like a collab effort shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know Fee pretty well, or if you know Anthony, who runs Ginger Wigs, I'll be talking to them myself. It's not like they don't know me. But maybe put in their ear and be like, hey, you guys should do a collab with the Snobby Boys. I think that would be pretty dope.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate the polling. This is super messed up, and there it is. Can I see the percentages? It won't tell me the percentages. That's I'm not okay with this. But it seems like everybody loves the bullshit shirt.
Good to know.
Good to know. All right. Well, you know what? Just for all y'all that came in tonight, I'm going to give you all the loyalty code again, and you're going to go out and buy the shirt with 15% off. That should at least help with the shipping coming over. And I'm going to price it to sell. I know a lot of our shirts, they might seem a little expensive. $28.99 for a tank top. I need to fix that. Holy shit. $27.99 is pretty much our standard for that. I mean, that's us making like $3 in profit, if I'm being completely honest. But I will be pricing them to sell at $24.99. for the bullshit t-shirts, as it is at $27.99 right now. And I'll even knock down those hoodies for you guys if you want to order hoodies, especially you guys over there in England. No, it's a little colder there than it is over here, so we would be happy to do that, and I'll get on that probably right after this, if not tomorrow morning. No, if I'm going to give you guys a discount, I'm gonna wake at work to a certain point. We're gonna go till Sunday. You have till Sunday to order it with 15% off. I'm gonna flash that code right up on the screen real quick. As soon as I type it in. You and create, and boom. Go over to the store at the checkout. You'll put Loyal AF, and that'll give you 15% off of the shirt. And while I'm in here, I'm gonna go do it right now because I can do that while I'm here. But I'm gonna stop sharing so y'all don't see what I can do.
Right now, all that's on the screen is the poll and my face. Me and the poll. You're welcome for the material, Steve.
You said it. Oh my god. I took my glasses off.
You welcome.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, the booze is starting to get in.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey man, sometimes Steven, sometimes you gotta pick the low-hanging fruit when you can.
I mean, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. Oh, did you guys did I show you? Did we have bucket hats?
That was on there, yeah, when you scrolled through.
Yeah.
All the bullshit
Yeah, we
stuff.
got bucket hats, man. Get a bucket hat. I know you'll like them shits over there. Let's see. Joe, do you got anything worth it other than me waffling on about our store that nobody really gives a shit about?
I need for all y'all's in the chat, any of you who are listening on the rewatch, to send me some positive vibes on Saturday. Say
Oh,
Joe needs some positive vibes to not scream and yell at the match officials at Elliot's indoor games. Because I have failed miserably pretty much every weekend to not yell at the incompetent officials at my daughter's indoor games. Last weekend, I berated the dude because she got slammed into the boards after the ball was gone and was crying. My kid is not a crier. She is tough as nails. So if she's running around on the pitch, still playing and crying, she got hit pretty hard. And he looked at me and said, "Why does it matter that she's crying?" And I about flipped my shit right there. And we typically get the same referees each weekend. So if y'all could send some like woosah positive vibes towards me on Saturday at some point, in hopes that I don't become that dad on the sideline or outside watching it, I would appreciate it because I'm trying to not lose my cool on these referees, even though they pretty much deserve it. So.
What you mean? It was. It's the lawman effect. Truly. Where do I go see Oasis?
They dropped the schedule, didn't they?
They did drop the schedule.
The dates and locations and all that?
Yeah. Super, super excited about that, except we're not getting there because it's, suffice it to say, this is probably one of the most jam-packed summers we've had in a while. Being that Club World Cup is here, being that, well, vacations and stuff. Sorry, I was. Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, I was.
Thank you.
I was reading.
Thank you for for the positive vibes, man. I'm gonna really try this Saturday not to yell and scream, but it is what it be. Definitely, maybe, yeah, exactly.
Dude, yeah, I know you got tickets first day, so it's like
Kill it, dude.
I'm
Can't wait for
so
the
jealous
content.
of you
Can't wait for the
to
content
go.
that you're gonna put out
Well,
for
hold
it
on.
too.
You're right, and you're going to Wembley too. You're not even going to Manchester. Like that's going to be fucking
Legendary.
ridiculous. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, thank you all very much for helping us with this right here. That certainly helps us know where things are as far as what people like. Um, I will be doing this again on Sunday for those of you who are in here regularly. Fuck, I deleted it. God damn it. We'll be doing this again. I'll definitely be more sober when I do it. uh, and we'll get some extra feedback there. And I will be I'll be managing the store a little bit to see, to be taking stuff away. So, and if I do take something away that you liked, send us a message and be like, "Hey,
Just
man,
hit
I
us
really
up.
like that shirt." Yeah, just hit us up. If you've got any like ideas, I'd be more than happy to collaborate with those ideas, and I'll even be so nice to gift you some merch if you would like to help along with any of it. That'd be super cool. Any news on your plans for coming over? Um, it's funny that you brought that up, Steve, because I've had this conversation a couple of times this week with people over there, and just what it costs for the average person to come over there and have a match. And we actually kind of talked a little bit when talked a little bit about it when Kelkster was on. Um, it's just not that easy, man. It's just not that easy. I I really would like to find somebody that I'm like really good friends with over there and be able to stay on the cheap. But I know that that's not going to happen just because, we're fucking technically perfect strangers. So for us, it would be, Airbnb, finding an Airbnb for a few days and getting in at the right match. Kelkster told us, it's in my pants, Steve. Let's not go there. Kelkster said she spent about 270 pound, on her ticket, and that doesn't give me good vibes because I paid $210 to go see the Steelers play in the away side at a regular season game. 270 is a far stretch from the 75 to $120 that we spent on preseason matches. So, yeah, I dropped a nut there. um, yeah, and then of course it's you got to feed yourself for however many days, and y'all's food ain't the greatest, from what I understand.
Well timed sip there. See what you did there.
I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you take over a bunch of fucking countries, ones that have like the best spices in the world, and you don't use them? I don't get it. And that's purely coming from a place of like I like y'all know that I was a chef. Like, how come you don't use them? How come the Indians had to come over? Well, they didn't even come over. You basically pulled them in and tell them, you can cook over in your
Season.
takeouts,
Season it up.
but they didn't say, hey, like you need some salt in your food. No, I'm just playing. I really don't know what it's like over there. This is me talking bullshit. Like, there's this one guy. He's an American. His name's Kalani. He goes over there quite a bit. And he actually was defending today. He was defending beans on toast, and I was like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?" No, I mean it does depend on where you go, where you eat. Steve seems to think that they use spices and herbs. You might use some like rosemary on your roasts, but like your sausages. Here's something that I do know. Like bangers are good. I like bangers. I think they're it's a good sausage, right? But if we were to Kalani Ghost Hunter, yeah, he loves UK food. But I also think that that's because I'm not gonna be mean. I don't want to be mean. He looks like he likes to eat. He looks like he likes to eat. But I digress on that point. Uh, bangers are good, but like the bangers that I've had over here at British pubs, they don't have a lot of spice in them. And when you talk about it like an American sausage, like our breakfast sausages and shit, uh see now we're going into like areas of the country where they're made. I know they're made different everywhere. Uh he is a fucking ghost hunter. Is he though, really? Because I've never seen anything that he does ghost hunting. Like I always see him just eating. So he went to Liverpool and had a scouse. First of all, I didn't know that a scouse was a dish. Now I do, and we call them that, which is hilarious. I don't want to eat it. It doesn't. Is it good? Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
That's why when we go over, y'all are gonna take us to the right spots.
Exactly. Exactly. We want the good shit. Listen, I don't want Greg's. I don't want fucking Nando's. I don't want the Jolly Bees. I don't want none of that shit. I want the good stuff. I want the stuff that nobody tells everybody. I want the hole in the wall that looks like it's been there for 150 or 200 years. Because then I know that it's fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys follow Prime Mutton? I love his. I've never heard of him, to be honest. I'll have to look him up.
I'll search him up though, as the kids say.
Lobscouse. Yeah, exactly. I like red cabbage. I especially like German pickled red cabbage. Like that shit is good. But I've never just goes around eating and drinking and going to city games. He sounds like that's probably what I should have done. I've been fucking making it
killing. He's got the right idea.
Yeah, I don't want the name brand shit. I don't. Like I'll stop into Greg's to get a sausage roll, but like one time. That's it. You're not wrong there either. You're not wrong. But I mean, but what if they did what what if they did what McDonald's does to their shit, right? You can put a burger underneath your fucking car seat and leave it there for 20 years and it'll look the same as the day you bought it.
Preservatives.
Thank God that they don't have that shit over there.
Right?
I would totally love to be a content creator that comes over there and just tries out food and goes to city games and like that's a dream. Absolute dream. All right, Joe. You got anything left for us? Like your Twinkies? Yeah, no, oh my God.
Survive a fucking nuclear disaster.
I'm really surprised that Will liked those as much as he does. Like when we had the Christmas episode with him, and he like straight shoved a Twinkie in his mouth and was just like loving it. And then he said they have them over there, and he said they're worse than the ones that we gave him. And I'm like, those are pretty bad already. I don't know.
Different folks, man.
It's different strokes for different folks. It's weird. Joe, you got anything else before we close this motherfucker down? 2 hours.
I do not.
Comments, you got anything? No, I don't think anybody will. But no, I know that I will. I know that I will. I'm really just having I'm having a laugh about it. As somebody who's in the culinary, like there are. Stop stroking Colby. Who's stroking me?
Nobody around you?
Nope. It might be Kailani with his little ghost hunting fucking shit.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, if you ain't got nothing to wrap on, we appreciate all of you guys sticking around, hanging out with us, even helping us with the store a little bit. Super, super appreciated. Until next episode on Sunday, where we will be reviewing Arsenal.
And a special guest that in time, yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. Hold on a second. Yes.
Like an hour after the match, right?
Yeah. Wow. That's how close that was. So on Sunday, if everybody doesn't know, y'all don't know, we are going to be bringing on Luke from Not in My Lifetime to hang out with us and rap out about the Arsenal match. Super excited to have him on. Finally, we were actually supposed to have him on a little while back. Some things happened with him personally, so therefore he could not do it. Not a big deal, but super excited to have him on finally and get to chat with him a little bit more. So there's that. Thank you all again for always being here and hanging out with us. It means the absolute world to us. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So keep coming back, keep spreading the word, keep doing all the good stuff that you should be doing to help us grow this channel. We are working our butts off to make it so. So you're a little bit of help. Yep, he's a sound nice guy. He really is. Keep helping us truck along. And let's take this thing to the next level. Until Sunday, I'm going to leave you with... I'm going to leave you with this. Peace out, y'all.
Something's happening to me. Spend all my money on drugs and city.